Hi, welcome back. It's the same day for me, but the entire next month for you. That's so fun. Um, we are here again to track my yarn usage over a full month in my little notebook that I have for it. If you haven't seen a previous edition of these, I have a little playlist for it. I don't know which side of the screen that goes on, but I have a little playlist for this. You can watch them back. The numbers are varying, and I have no expectations for what this month will be. I write down my grams of yarn used per day that I weigh with my little kitchen scale. It is as accurate as I care to get it. I don't track like yarn labels or finished skeins or whatever because I don't work like that. For myself, I will write down what kind of yarn I used, sock yarn, chenille yarn, regular sized acrylic, because there's a difference, right, in using 50 grams of sock weight yarn and using 50 grams of super bulky yarn. That's different. Doesn't matter for the end number, matters for my administration for myself to see how much I did in a day. We have my little goals page, which I've been doing since January. And this time it has, again, the 1 through 4 kilos. We are not expecting to hit 4 kilos. We've been very far away from it recently, instead of as close as I was in January, December, somewhere around there. And then we have goals for things to work on. I want to make the Shy Demon sweater. I'm ordering yarn for that today. I want to finish the shawl that I didn't finish last month, but I did progress on it a lot. I want to make progress on my second sock. Probably not finishing it, but if I do, that would be epic. I want to finish my cardigan that I'm working on, which I will most likely manage to do today. I want to stick to my yarn budget. Previous 2 months I've said buying no yarn outside of commissions. This month I am starting new projects and I'm allowed to buy yarn for them. Additionally, sometime this or next week I will be receiving my first subscription box from MILF Mayhem. I paid for that in December, so that is free. Not part of the budget. Cool. I want to design the Zim sweater that I want to make and start it. Probably not finish it because it is on a smaller hook size and it's an oversized sweater and whatever. I want to make progress on my elephant, like the African flower petal thingy majig elephant. And I'm going to try again to not hit any 0 days because that has been helping me feel better. I just noticed that I wrote down finish the shawl twice, so I am going to cross one of those out and think of something else. And you'll hear that at the end of the month. I will update you tomorrow. Good morning, good morning. On the 1st of April, I used 66 grams of acrylic yarn. Nice. Hi. On the 2nd, I used 19 grams of acrylic yarn and then another 26 of the other acrylic yarn. Cardigan is now finished. Then we used 107 grams of chenille yarn and 5 grams of sock yarn. So that's a total of 157 grams of yarn for the 2nd. Nice. Hi, hello. On the 3rd I used 20 grams of yarn, all sock yarn, and on the 4th I used 9 grams of yarn, also sock yarn. See ya. Hi, I somewhat looked into working on my thesis and then I forgot to update you. It's just like that sometimes. On the 5th I used 16 grams of sock yarn. On the 6th I used 20 grams of sock yarn. On the 7th I used 28 grams of sock yarn. And then, now it gets different. 8th, 18 grams of acrylic yarn. 9th, yesterday, 129 grams of wool acrylic mix and 12 grams of sock yarn. And today, we'll see. Hi, hello. On the 10th, I used 56 grams of acrylic yarn and 91 grams of acrylic wool mix for a total of 147 grams of yarn. Good day. Yes. Hi, on the 11th I used 116 grams of yarn. Most of that was acrylic wool mix and then 21 grams of chenille to make Steve. Yes. And then on the 12th I used 68 grams of yarn, which was all acrylic wool mix. And now we're on today again, caught up. Hi, on the 13th I used 57 grams of acrylic wool mix. Hi, hello. On the 14th I used 111 grams of wool mix, acrylic wool mix, yes. Hi, hello. On the 15th I used 8 grams of cotton yarn. On the 16th I used 101 grams of multiple types of yarn. Let me see. 5 grams acrylic wool mix, 8 grams just acrylic, and the rest is chenille yarn. Then on the 17th I used 54 grams of just chenille yarn, and yesterday on the 18th I used 8 grams of acrylic yarn. Cool. Hi, on the 19th I've used 48 grams of chenille yarn. Hi, hello, on the 20th I used 41 grams of yarn. 34 of that was chenille yarn and 7 grams of it was acrylic. Hi, hello, I've been like writing it down but not adding it up, so I just added it up. On the 21st I used 89 grams of yarn, a bunch of different kinds of acrylic. Then on the 22nd I used 12 grams of yarn, all acrylic. On the 23rd I used 140 grams of yarn, and this was all chenille in different colors. 24th, 45 grams of yarn, acrylic, and 25th, 43 grams of yarn, acrylic. Now it's the 26th and I'm going to be using acrylic yarn again. Hi, I totally didn't forget about this again for a few days. 26th, 107 grams of yarn. 27th, 111 grams of yarn. 28th, 238 grams of yarn. That was all acrylic. By the way, not chenille yarn. Wow. And then yesterday, the 29th, 152 grams of yarn. Also all acrylic. Today isn't finished yet. It's 4 p.m. The number will go up because I'm not done for today. Hi, Neo. Whoa. Thank you for putting fur in my soda. That's so nice of you. It adds to the flavor, definitely. Silly baby. Okay, update you in a bit. Good morning. It is May 1st, which means April is wrapping up. On the 30th I used 153 grams of yarn. This was 69 grams of acrylic yarn and then 84 grams of chenille yarn, which for the month of April puts us at a total of 2,314 grams of yarn. Nice. This is an improvement compared to the last 2 months. I am happy about this. For the goals, I hit the 2 out of 4 kilo mark, you know, nice. I made a Shy Demon sweater, I finished a hexagon cardigan, I stuck to my yarn budget, I designed a Zim sweater. I started it, but I forked it again, so I'm counting it like half, you know. I hit the no 0 days. Wahoo! Lowest number was 8 grams, and that was sock yarn, I'm pretty sure. I made a mesh shirt. What I didn't do was make process on my African flower triceratops or make noticeable progress. I think I did do like a few stitches, but I didn't write it down. On my sock, and then I'll finish my genderfuck shawl. That's all fine. Good month. I am happy with these numbers. I am happy with the goals hit. And I am happy that it's May. What did you think of the number? Are you excited for next month? Again, if you want to see the previous months, there is a playlist. Have fun. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.